I would like your help to find words that will help me find a better feeling place about my health. And to be specific about that, I would need to talk about where I am right now, but then I'd like to move on.
Oh, but of course.
Okay. I was diagnosed with HIV 10 years ago because of lab results. I was diagnosed with AIDS 6 years ago. I've had some successes in staying healthy. Obviously, I'm here and I look healthy. Lab results still say that I'm, quote, not healthy, and I'm taking enormous amounts of medicine that cause side effects that have made me change to other medicines. And right now I've been told I'm on the last medicines available, and they're, quote, working. However, my feet, they've created nerve damage in my feet, and I have pain a lot, enough that it's a stick that keeps coming up, and I would like to move up that stick. The only way I can picture what I'm wanting is to say I'm wanting to not have this.
Well, you know, that is not such a bad state of being, and let us tell you what we mean by that. We're going to come back and talk with you in detail about all of this, but we want to give you a basis of understanding that will give you an amount of freedom that will surprise you. You are getting the idea that everything is vibrational. And there are many subjects that when you pick up the stick that is that subject, you immediately vibrate in one place or another. In other words, it's rather easy to find your vibrational place on most subjects. So when you pick up the stick that says, my physical well-being, your vibration is usually predominantly about the reality that you are living. It is true for most people. So as you find yourself vibrating in a place that does not feel good to you, and you feel the discomfort of the physical manifestation, we know that sometimes it seems like a harder place to shift from, but it is actually much easier for this reason. We're visiting with some people recently, and we were trying to get them to discover the power of finding the vibration of a feeling. Now, what we mean by that is, imagine that you're standing in a library, and you're standing in front of the librarian's desk, and there are hundreds of thousands, millions of books in this vast library. And you say to her, I would like a book, please. And she would say to you, please give me more specifics about what your interest is. Now take that same idea, only stand here on the brink of the universe where every thought that has ever been thought is available to you, and feel how difficult it is to sort through all of those thoughts. And yet some of you think that that's what we're telling you to do. You think that what we're saying is, here are all of these thoughts or experiences, and here's one, we'll keep that one, here's one, that's not a good one, here's one, we'll keep that one, here's one, we'll keep that one, out, out, out with that one. And we say, oh, what an arduous task that would be to, on a conscious level, evaluate every thought and then toss it based upon the way we feel. Now, while there is some deliberate creating involved in a process like that, it's really the hard way to go about it. It is so much easier to remember the feeling of feeling good, and through association, then find thoughts that revolve around that feeling, and establish a tone then that will give you access only to other thoughts or other vibrations that are like that. So we were playing with the idea of setting that tone. And so we said to this group, feel with us the feeling of well-being. Well, some of them could feel it easily right away. Many of them could not even come close. We said, feel with us the feeling of utter prosperity. More money than you have any sensible use for, just flowing into your experience. Feel that. Almost no one could feel that. A handful here, but almost no one knew what that feeling was. And so we could see the difficulty people, in other words, you can't just say to someone, that would be a good way for you to vibrate that way. If we could zap you with that sort of thing, we would have done it long ago. But there is no assertion, there is only law of attraction. And each of you, as powerful consciousness, you must find your vibrational niche, and then the universe will respond to it. But you are responsible for offering the vibration. You have some choices. You can offer your vibration based upon what you are living, or you can offer your vibration based upon what you are conjuring. In either case, the universe will take you at your vibrational word and will respond to it. But then we hear our physical friends say, but Abraham, this is how it is. Therefore, this is the basis of my vibration. And we say, it doesn't need to be. How it is can tell you clearly what you do not want, which will give you a natural association with what you do want. Now, what do we mean by that? So we said to these people that we were talking to, as we would throw out a feeling and try to get them to feel around it who couldn't find it, we said, find the feeling of security. Find the feeling of financial security or physical security. Find that feeling of security. They could not find it. So then we said, then find your feeling of insecurity. Boom, they all went right there. In other words, they could feel the feeling of insecurity. And then we said, now imagine relief from that. And in reaching for the feeling of relief from the insecurity, they felt a dose of well-being. You get a sense of what we're talking about? All you have to do is reach for relief of that oppressive feeling of fear. And in the feeling of relief, you begin to move up the stick. You get a sense of what we're talking about? This is the way contrast helps you to mold energy. We want to say to you, we talked earlier about this a little bit. The cells of your body are consciousness, and they know exactly what to do to find balance within your body. And each one of them, on behalf of itself, not on behalf of you, your cells are selfish too. Your cells are selfishly reaching for the energy of well-being. And just like everything else in the universe, as those cells, just like anything else asks, non-physical energy answers. So why aren't the cells coming into perfect balance? Because you, the conscious overseer, in your worry, are causing a vibration that keeps their transmission from working. In other words, they're still asking, non-physical is still answering, but your worry is causing a sort of static that is in the way. So what we want you to begin doing, rather than thinking in terms of what you need to do or the worthiness of your being or what you need to do in order to allow wellness, start thinking about the cells of your body that know what to do, and you make a decision to get out of their way. Which means if we were standing in your physical shoes, we wouldn't keep picking this stick up. In other words, we would not work so hard about this subject. We would get distracted. We would find some other things that are interesting to us, and we would turn our full attention toward those other things. Whether it is a relationship or a hobby or a business enterprise, we would do anything and everything that we could do to find something else to think predominantly about. And when we did think about our physical body, the thing that we would keep washing over and over in our mind would be, the cells of my body know what to do, and they're not feeling guilty. They're not feeling controverted. They're not feeling unworthy. They are cells knowing exactly what to do. And if I can keep my worrisome, guilt-ridden, unworthy, troubled self out of the way, they'll all do just fine. You get a sense of what we are talking about?
Yes.
Everything is vibrational. The cells of your body are vibrational. You are an electronic being. Your wellness is about the transfer of energy, not different from electricity, from universal source to you on a cellular basis. In other words, you have many energy points within your body. Sickness is not because cells have turned bad. Sickness is because cells are not being allowed the fullness of the energy response. It's sort of like an electrical short. Mending a physical body is the simplest thing in the universe because the cells are eager to transmit and receive. The universal energy or God force is eager to transmit and receive. And if the consciousness involved, which is the personality that you know as you, is in an open and receiving way, then those responses can be restored in the moment. In this moment, you see. People tend to think that illnesses are progressive, that something goes wrong, and then the sickness just becomes more and more and more. That is not what is happening. What's happening is the sickness calls attention to something that causes more contradiction or more resistance in the frequency. In other words, it's just in the moment. Do you know that you could be diagnosed with every deadly disease known to man, and you could be lying in your bed in a state of utter allowance and allow the energy of source to flow through to the cells of your body, and you would have an instant healing. It's not about the body needing to rebuild. It's about opening the vibrational circuits. That's all that it is. Have we convinced you?
I still must be honest. I still have a feeling that I'm going to do something wrong, make a wrong choice, and not get there.
Well, what possible wrong choice could you make?
The next time they tell me I have to change medicines because the labs say they're not
well,
working.
Do whatever they encourage you to do if it makes you feel better. All of that is irrelevant.
Okay, that's
In other words,
good.
go through all of those motions because it's easier for you to go through those motions than not. In other words, do whatever you can't make a wrong choice there. All of that, you see, the only reason any of that stuff works anyway is because they tell you at mind, and in your hope, you open the circuit.
I see.
And then after a few people croak from it anyway, then they say, whoops, we made a mistake. It's not really working, and then you close the circuit. And then somebody comes up with something else and say, this might work, and you say, oh, good, and you open the circuit. And then a few people croak anyway, and they say, well, this isn't working very well, so you close the circuit. And that's why it's always something new, always something new, always something new, always something new. And all of that is fine. You see, the only reason that medicine works at all, the disease gives you a rocket of desire beyond anything that you've ever felt before. No matter what the disease is, having it makes you want something else. And so that desire begins right away summoning resources in order to soothe whatever it is that you are not wanting or to satisfy whatever it is that you are wanting. And then what happens with the medicine is that you have a desire with a belief that doesn't match it, and then someone comes along with a bottle or a pill or a process, and you say, and they say to you, this will get you to where you want to be. And so for a little while, your hope or your belief matches your desire, and the circuits are all open again, you see, until they get involved with their scientific study, and they discover that it didn't always work. Didn't work in that case, didn't work in that case, didn't work in that case. And the more data you receive about it not working, the more your doubt comes forth, and the more you are vibrationally apart from your desire, and the more resistance is then set up within your being. See? The physical characteristics of your body are not something for you to orchestrate from your place of physical consciousness. They are orchestrated from a cellular level. And that's why you get so frustrated when you find yourself out of balance, is that you're not the orchestrator of it, and there are so many opinions about what you should be doing or what you shouldn't be doing. When the truth of it is, it's not your job to maintain the cellular balance of your body. The cells will do it. Your job is to get happy and get out of the way.